Room. Okay. Okay, we're live and ready to go.
Good to go.
Good to go.
All right. So my name is Paul Ferry. I'm the chair of the North Road Zoning Board of Appeals. It is July 22nd, 2025, and past the hour of 7 p.m. First order on the agenda for tonight is a continued public hearing to consider the petition submitted by Angel Burgos for use and dimensional variances, a groundwater special permit, and site plan approval to convert an existing single-family home into a two-family home located at 19 East Main Street, map 53, parcel 101 in the Business East Zoning District. Mr. Burgos, you're here today along with
Paul Feeney.
Okay. You want to
So
introduce?
Paul Feeney, I'm Angel's brother-in-law and contractor.
Okay.
I'm a mechanical contractor in Boston, but helping him out on his.
Okay. So last meeting, just to recap, we had the opening of the case, we heard a bunch of information, the feedback provided by the board and staff to the applicant. I guess if you want to just kind of start with sort of all the new updates and emails that we received and just kind of give an overview of what responses you provided to some of the feedback from our last meeting.
We added the floodlights.
So I'll step you through. First item was the asphalt. There was a concern that the driveway wasn't really big enough to accommodate the cars added for a two-family house. So we got out asphalt engineering or the local asphalt contractor. We got a redesign. We had to draw up a sketch for bigger, wider 4-car driveway, and also ripping out the walkway that goes from the driveway to the house. That's in the sketch as well. That will all be asphalt. A trickle down effect from that was concern about the runoff associated with the added driveway. In discussing that with them, there's the backyard and everything. They're going to make it so that the back half of the driveway pitch back, and so not all the runoff goes out to the street. And they were confident that they could, make it. I think Laura gave us goalposts that we had to be within 15% of additional runoff. And they were confident they could do that. And they said they got to rip up the dirt and see what they're up against with the driveway that they're there. But the intent would be to, pitch the back half of the driveway back, get it, because it's going to be, stone and drainage back there, and then they'll make sure that whatever they add will be 15% or less for the pitch going back. I believe Bob subsequently said they could also limit the runoff by putting the rain leaders down so it buries it to the ground, and the rain leaders that are currently going out to the street don't. And that was like post cutoff date, but we'll of course do that as well.
So is that part of, sorry, is that part of the plan? Is that what's needed? Is the sort of the downspouts to
If they can't hit the 15% increase, okay, if they can't stay below it. The easiest thing to do is to collect the water off the roof. Send it into the ground and use a recharge system. Caltech or something equivalent. So
and that will be done sort of after the fact?
we can do that, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There was some other notes that kind of went with the driveway, increased the lighting to walk from the driveway to the front of the home, because it's just like one small light on the front of the home now. And, to make it more environmentally pleasing, so we added some exterior lighting. There is a light post out there now, the 5-foot light post, of course, doesn't work, but, changing that out to a new, more modern, brighter, light post to help with that lighting. Oh, there was a request for septic information because there was some old septic information on file that had it as a 3-bedroom. It was updated to a 5-bedroom septic system. And all that documentation has been submitted, but mixed up in the findings, and by the end of that meeting, like the next day. Someone, Laura or Bob, emailed back and said, oh, sorry, we had the wrong file, we do have the information from the septic upgrade. So that information was turned in. But so those were the real big changes. Someone asked for, you know, why the hardship, why make it a two-family? And so basically it is, you know, it was a two-family before and converted to a one-family, so it's going back to a two-family where it was a two-family before. And, you know, it's just what it's on for footage, you can't get the frontage and the square feet out of the lot, you know, if you were to build it today, but it was historically a two-family, two about the two families. If it isn't a two-family area, it's just, it got changed from a two-family to a one-family. And now that it's time to go back, the rules are different, so it doesn't fit, but it was, you know, the intent of the home is a two-family home.
Okay. Can you just, in terms of the driveway, right, you said it's gonna fit 4 cars. What is, can you just discuss the, is it 4 from left to right, or is it back to back 4?
It's left to right.
So, okay, so it's not like people need to shift cars around and stuff like that. Okay.
So if I may,
Yep.
it took me a little while before I understood this diagram. So this area in green is the existing walkway. So there's a concrete walkway that's fallen apart, and then there's a grass strip, and then there's this driveway. So if I understand this correctly, the plan is to demolish the existing walkway and the grass strip and expand the driveway to include both those areas, as well as to expand it on this side. So it's gonna be 12 feet wider on this side and 9 feet wider on this side. Is that right?
Mhm.
And then there's this new walkway, which currently doesn't exist. And this walkway, and then your plan is to reconstruct these stairs.
The stairs just here, so it's, you know, it's about this high.
Yeah.
It's
Remember, the only way to get into there's only 2 ways to get into the house, front and the side.
great.
3.
It's, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So there's the front door.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is existing, so you're going to do an additional door in the front. And then there are 2 doorways in the back, so I assume 1 to each apartment.
Each one of those
That's the
3
plan.
entryways, yeah.
Well, one thing that I was kind of confused about, and unfortunately, I don't know why when we share pictures, it like reverses the order, so they're like sideways and backways, so I apologize for that. But I noticed in the plan set that you had like a first floor A and a first floor B. And you did the same for the second
So,
floor, so.
Because of the fire alarm, it was with all the verbiage, but in A and B, it's the same plan, just with some stuff hidden, so the fire alarm could be shown, because the fire alarm was getting lost in all like the architectural notes, like turn this beam this way and turn this beam, and the fire department was like, I'm not seeing the smoke detectors in the fire alarm, so we took off some notes on the B.
Okay.
Because the fire department was having trouble seeing things.
Okay, so there is going to be a wall there.
Yeah.
Yeah. so here's the A. So it looks like what's different is.
Oh, no,
the
that's a
brick.
beam, that's a column.
Oh,
So that's the beam going across so that it's not a load bear, you know, to eliminate a little piece of load bearing wall, separating the current kitchen. It's like
okay.
that.
Cause here it's shown as white.
And
Okay.
it was just hiding the beam line.
Okay,
That was just because he wasn't seeing the smoke detector that's right there, and now I'm not seeing it either, but. Probably with the picture thing like you're saying, and there was a smoke detector there, but it was hidden under that beam,
okay,
the beam verbiage,
okay,
put that LVL there.
okay,
And so that was just for the fire department,
got it.
to try to take out some of the noise. Like, yeah, this clearly looks different. You put one of those covers over it and then you email it. Like,
So I guess about the question, just briefly, it's probably standard, right? So like, once the work is completed, there needs to be like a CO, so like any sort of like inspection that needs to be completed by you. Fire department needs to sign off on fire safety, make sure all the alarms are.
Yeah, right now, the building as it sits, it's got it right up to the 4 barrel walls and stuff, so there's no insulation in there. Whatever wiring and plumbing in there, it's gonna be re-reviewed to make sure it's gonna be code compliant. So I'm treating this basically as a new house.
Right.
Or two, or a new duplex.
Sure.
So, you know, it's gonna require full smoke and carbon monoxide coverage, it's gonna require 1 hour separation walls between the two occupancies. It's gonna require 2 separate means of egress out of each one. The front is combined, which is allowed. We'll make sure that all that's done. Proper fire coding, the alarm systems. So we're basically treating it as a house minus foundation. So it's, you know, everything's up for grabs in terms of inspections.
Okay.
There's also been a code change since, you know, the construction stopped, so we're gonna have to upgrade the new edition of the code.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions? At this time? Anything back?
And this is for Bob, the driveway was okay for Bob,
I'm sorry?
the driveway configuration was okay for you?
Yeah, that was my main concern was the driveway, so I'll okay with it then. I'm good with me.
Okay. Is anyone else on the board have any further questions?
I guess I was a little interested in the 1 family versus 2 family piece of it, because it was last used as a 1 family. Right, so wouldn't that mean it would be, even though it's stripped down as it does now, wouldn't that mean that would be easier to rebuild it into a 1 family? Or what about its state makes it conducive to turning it into a 2 family?
kind of the way you have to like almost like back all the way out to the front of the house to like go upstairs, there's no like natural flow between the first floor and the second floor, so even though it was used as a 1 family, you almost had to like leave to go back upstairs.
Right, oh, I see.
So, yes, it was used as a 1 family, it was same people on the top and bottom, but it wasn't like your house where you go upstairs and downstairs and you're in the same house, it doesn't have like that natural flow to it.
So there's no internal staircase?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's, you go all the way to the front door and then you go, when you walk in the front door, you go up or down, so you have to go like all the way back to the front door.
Got
And go up or down, so while it was that and there was no entryway, like you could naturally walk right out there. Sure, it was like you were leaving
Yeah,
and banging a U-turn and going back upstairs.
okay,
Whereas the second, third floor, which third floor is only like a little, you know, 1 bedroom attic type of thing. Like that's a natural, that's an internal staircase and it feels like a home, you know, but the first and the second floor is almost like you're leaving.
got it, that's helpful, thank you.
Banging a U and going upstairs.
Yeah.
That 3rd floor, there's no door, no entrance to the bedroom,
No.
Yep,
There will be.
There will be.
There will be, but there's not.
There's only one window up there. There's one window.
There's one, right? Yeah.
And then the basement, is the basement all open and will both tenants have access to it for storage or?
No storage, it is all open, they will have access, but only, to get to the water heaters and things like that. They shouldn't really do that, but we did have to, the fire department, we had to outfit it with, all the extra smoke detectors, the CO combination. As if it was, but it's not.
Okay.
It's unfinished, the water heaters are down there.
So they won't be doing like laundry down there?
No.
So this is a public hearing, still, or open public hearing, you wanna see if there's anyone in the audience, I don't see anyone here, but if there's anyone in the audience online. If you could just please raise your hand, or if you dialed in by phone. Press *9.
I didn't see that and go back to
If
see.
you hit escape on your keyboard. Yep, so now you can go ahead and hit stop sharing, yep. And go over to attendees, and it looks like there's nobody there.
Okay. Are there any other questions, comments, or ask Jack?
In Laurie's letter, we're going to look at, instead of a variance, we're gonna look at a special permit. We've advertised for a variance. What's your opinion, given that? I don't think it's more detrimental by changing to the special permit. Actually, I think
Yeah.
it's better, and that's what it should have been to begin with.
Right,
Because as a variance, I don't see a hardship. As a special permit. You can justify it on the districting of the zones. And the existing structures that are in the neighborhood. Basically, they're all of a certain era.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's more detrimental, but do we have an issue because we advertise the variance instead of a special permit?
yeah, I did grapple with that. And of course, Bob and I discussed it. I thought that the public hearing notice was clear as to the intent, which was to convert it into a two-family. So. Especially if the decision is to approve it, I thought that it would be something that would not be problematic. In an appeal situation, because it's clear that what we're talking about is a single family that will ultimately go to a two-family. So the circumstances have not changed.
Thank you.
So the reason why it is a special permit as opposed to a variance is because the current use of the property, which is a single family, is also not an allowed use in business east district.
Where's your comment on the special permit?
I think it's the last.
Yeah, I think so.
We didn't comment.
Oh, actually, no, it was in the email that I sent with the draft decision.
Of the decision?
Yeah, I just said it right now. I didn't read it was.
Let me put you on the spot, can you just explain them?
Yeah, so when I was going through the exercise of preparing the decision. I did a second look at the use table. What I saw is that the single family, so if you look at the business use district. You see single family dwelling attached. Is not a permitted use, but single family detached is not even in the use table as an option, which means it's prohibited. So two family is also prohibited. So then when you go to non-conforming, so of course this structure was built around 1900. So that's about 55 years before zoning was adopted in the community. So if you look at non-conforming uses. We look here under special permit required. So this is a use, so they're not altering the structure, they're altering the use. So the zoning board of appeals may grant a special permit to extend or alter a non-conforming use in accordance with this section. Only if it determines that such extension or alteration is for a similar or less non-conforming use. And that it will not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming use. And then we list what your considerations are in making that determination. So there's still there are two variances that they need, actually three, because of insufficient frontage and insufficient area in the business use district and insufficient area in the so in the groundwater protection overlay.
Okay, yep,
That's still a special permit, isn't it? For the groundwater.
So, no. So of course, since you, the original property owner applied for a special permit for groundwater and was granted it in 2018. We changed the zoning. So 2 years ago, we put two families and multi-families as by right uses in area 3 of the groundwater protection overlay. We still had, if you had a septic system, you still have to comply with the 20,000 square foot minimum lot requirement, so that's why you still need a variance from that. But you no longer need a special permit. So in the draft decision, because they requested it, I put it in the front here as something that they requested, but in the findings of fact. So. Let's see. I put it as that. We had changed our zoning, so it was no longer required.
Page bracket 6. Only for.
Oh, it's number 10. In April 2024, the town approved an amendment to zoning bylaws to accept us for groundwater protection overlay. Which made two family and multi-family dwelling by right uses in the area 3 of the groundwater protection overlay district. A special permit for groundwater protection overlay district is no longer required.
just going back to the use.
Mhm.
for a second. Your contention is because single family homes not allowed in this business district. Is at least a pre-existing non-conforming use as a house. So the application is a special permit because This is an extension, operation to pre-existing non-conforming use, therefore a special permit for the use.
Yes.
And then there are variances with regards to the size of the property. Variance with regards to the frontage. Variance for groundwater.
Yeah.
For the size of the property.
Yeah, because they also had a minimum lot size of 20,000, but for this property is 17,000 and change.
So should this not be here, this first part here?
Yeah, so originally they were asking a variance for use.
Yep.
So it would be to allow a single family home to be converted to a two family. But it's a non-conforming use because single family currently is allowed.
Yes. Okay. And then to Jack's point. Because it's been advertised, the intent of the advertisement is essentially the same.
What would help the application is if I, if you, and you put a check next to special permit.
Okay.
So that would help the paperwork. So right now you have variance, site plan approval, and special permit for groundwater. So if you could do me a favor and check special permit and initial it.
So I guess with regards to that question. Does anyone have any other questions, additional questions or comments? Because I think that does change something of our view.
So we approve this special permit, then we have to prove the hardship or variances that fall underneath this special permit, right?
So he still has to demonstrate a hardship.
Okay.
Because he's asking for 3-dimensional variances.
3 variants,
But there would not be a use variance.
no use
So it's a special permit for use.
for the two.
Right, so the bar is lower
Mhm.
for a special permit for use
Right.
than it is for a variance for
Right.
use. So the use, he does not claim a hardship. He does claim a hardship for the area and the frontage.
But those are variances.
So those are also variances, but they're dimensional variances instead of use variances.
Through the chair.
I know you say they need a variance, but we're looking at a special permit now to reconstruct, alter, extend. The structure's not changing.
Correct.
Property's not changing.
But it's the use. You're extending or
We're
altering
extending
the
the
use.
use, but
not the
still a
structure.
legally existing non-conforming structure.
Yeah.
And we're not looking at,
You're saying they don't need a variance?
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I guess I'm,
What he's doing is he's essentially applying your same logic that you're using for. Transitioning from a variance special permit for use to the dimensions, right? Like if the property existed and it has existed. As a single family home with 93.99 feet of frontage, right? You know, they're not. Like, it's a pre-existing non-conforming. Right, in terms of the frontage, right? And that same thing can be sort of copy and pasted with the size of the lot hasn't changed. Right, but
size of the lot has not changed.
size of the lot's not changed, it's existed since 1900 as a single family home, right? So you have a pre-existing non-conforming use and a pre-existing non-conforming dimension of the property. And because you're not changing the structure on the outside, right, or you're not changing the lot,
We're not changing the lot.
then you already have the sort of.
Grandfather, in a sense,
Yeah.
not
pre-existing-
legally existing.
Yeah,
But it is going from a single family to 2 family.
still need a special permit for the use.
Yeah, I mean, the structure has been there for 100 years, so.
It's
I
not
think
even
everything we were looking at before, it just comes down to a special permit. The extension.
Mhm.
or the alteration. I may be wrong.
Well, no, I mean,
Well, that could be your finding, is that you find that you don't need to grant these variances.
Because if they were to keep this one family, they wouldn't need any variances, right?
No.
We would need a special permit.
You would need the special permit
So if
to,
it's a single family.
If it was a
Even though
single-
it's a single family now, because we're altering it.
yeah,
If it stayed a single family, you're gonna need a special permit, because in the zone.
Yeah.
It's not zoned.
Right.
So it was a legal existing use, non-conforming use already.
correct.
Now, I don't wanna get into the technicality of when the last time it was occupied was. But it's still a single family house. So I don't wanna open up any Pandora's box to put out. So we're gonna look at it as that. We don't have, I don't see why we need to look at anything else. And if he was just to keep it a single family, he would just go to Bob to have a building permit
That's true.
for our current zoning,
Current building.
current building, sorry, I'm sorry, correct.
He's stretching my brain cells.
Well, at the last meeting, I was going through this and it was hurting my brain cells at the last meeting because it wasn't making sense, but now it's all making sense.
Although he is altering the structure, because he's altering the interior of the structure to bring it from a single family to a two.
But that's the use,
But that's,
but the structure itself is not,
the envelope has changed.
yeah,
That is true.
but the structure is not non-conforming, right? It's like the lot is non-conforming and the use is non-conforming. But they have existed.
And they conform to the dimensional requirements as far as setbacks are
Yep.
concerned and lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, so I guess, so I guess what I would say is, I agree with that line of thinking in terms of, only needing a special permit.
It's up to our zoning enforcement officer.
Well, I should say, I agree with it.
it's a different approach, you know. You know, this book does not give you just one approach to anything. You know, it's how you look at it, given the situation. This book is designed to be flexible, believe it or not. So in situations like this come up, how do you deal with it? You know, I mean, we're in a gray area and, you know, find a way to skin the cat. I'm okay with backing on for it, you know, but, you know, make sure the board is okay. Just get that right.
Well, I guess, Bob, the question is, right? So I think what the thought is that what we need to approve tonight is a special permit under the pre-existing non-conforming.
Yeah.
To go from the use of a single family to a two family.
Mhm.
So that's on us
Mhm.
to do, that's
Yeah.
one decision to make.
Yeah.
In terms of the two variances for the frontage and the size.
Mhm.
Is that something that we need to make a decision on? Right, and if there is a decision that needs to be made,
There,
I think what we're saying is that decision is a special permit only.
well,
Not a
if you look at the reasons for the variance for the area and driveway, the frontage. Okay, those are pre-existing non-conforming for the past, say, 100 years. Okay, I don't think there's anything you really do about it. You know, so it is what it is. You know, it was conforming at the time. Okay, we haven't changed the rules on that particular property. And if that condition remains, it did not change, then it's allowed to stay as is. So, you know, there's a very good argument that, you know, variances may not needed, and it's simply just a special permit.
Okay.
I can hang my hat.
So So I guess the question is, do we need a special permit decision for the frontage and the size?
No,
I don't think so, because they're not.
You're gonna alter.
It's the structure.
right, you're not altering the lot area, you're not altering frontage.
Okay.
Is it also under this section, non-conforming, single family and two family, so. They can. Maybe reconstructed, extended, altered, or structurally changed as a matter of right. If such proposed construction extension does not increase the non-conformity nature of the structure. And there is no change to the use of the structure, but that it has changed.
Yep. Okay. Now we're down to special permit for the use. Right, and then,
Are we giving a sorry, through the chair?
Yep.
Are we looking at special permit for a use or for extension of a legally existing non-conforming structure?
an extension,
Second
So-
one,
Just use,
for the second one that you said,
second,
for the non-conforming.
non-conforming, okay.
I think, I don't want to speak for you, if this was to be a single family home. Right,
You just apply for the permit.
okay. So then. So then with regards to the groundwater. Or you, in your decision, you have variance and a special permit.
So there's no special permit for groundwater, because of that finding of fact that I put in saying that the zone has changed. So they would only need the variance from the stormwater because. A two-family structure requires 20,000 square feet of area.
Okay. And that variance is needed because we're changing the use.
Correct.
Okay.
Although. Single family on septic also needs 20,000 square feet,
So,
and so they were grandfathered
right, so you don't,
because
I don't see
it, right. So it's the same situation as. The other.
We're down to. Just a special permit.
Yeah. The site plan approval.
And site plan approval.
site plan.
I can do a general finding of fact, like kind of combining all of these together, saying that the variance is not required, this is pre-consistent, as pre-existing, non-conforming structure.
It does change our purview a little bit, with regards to the decision criteria for. The site plan, I think from my perspective, I don't really have any additional questions. So just for those on board, right, 7-15, 7-16 has. The site plan approval or special permit and site plan approval sort of criteria, right, so. Improve pedestrian bicycle behavior safety on site. Improve access to each structure for fire emergency services needed. great existing compatibility with the surrounding area. Right, so these are the types of things that go along with a site plan approval. Which I think sort of the applicant has addressed in some of our concerns with the driveway, the outdoor lighting, the walkway, and safety, with fire. Not changing the structure, I think is also another positive as well. It keeps, anything with the removal of disruption of the historic, traditional, architectural elements. Their house is slightly injured. If you have any questions there? Is there anything else on the board? And so it sounds like we're really just down to special permit for the grandfathering of the use and then site plan approval.
And I was suggesting 2 conditions.
Preconditions, yeah.
So one is prior to construction activities, the applicant shall submit a revised site plan for planning director, assistant deputy director, and building inspector review and approval that depicts infiltration of stormwater to the extent that net runoff volume does not exceed pre-existing conditions by more than 15%. So you propose a solution, so a couple of options were discussed today. So you propose a solution, submit it to the 3 of us, we'll look it over and ultimately approve it. That's okay with the CPA. Then number 2 is the applicant shall remove and reconstruct the existing walkway and driveway consistent with the diagram provided with the quote from Asphalt Engineering. The applicant shall obtain a road opening permit from the Department of Public Works prior to construction activities. And then just that you'll make the other improvements that were proposed, exterior lighting, stairs, and decorative columns consistent with the submitted interiors.
I don't have any issues with those conditions. I guess any comments or feedback from the applicant on those?
No, the submission was agreeing, we gave you the cut sheets and everything, and this is what we're thinking, that would be, your desires, requirements, whatever, anything. That's the intent.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, any other questions or comments from staff at all?
Just wondering who is being promoted in the alternates?
I've
We've already discussed that.
I don't think so, but I think.
That wasn't your last.
Yeah.
This is, so Jeff was.
We haven't heard anything from Select.
Yeah, I can give an update here.
Yeah, I think,
This decision.
Jack was.
Oh, for this decision.
I'm a voting member. You're,
Okay.
yeah, voting member. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because Jeff was. Okay. So I don't have any other questions, staff, one last, no. Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Are there any other last comments or questions from the applicant? No. Okay. I guess at this time, I don't see any other attendees. Or anyone else in public, so I guess we can, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for the petition submitted by Angel Burgos for use of dimensional variances, or sorry, for a special permit for use for pre-existing non-conforming use and site plan.
Not doing for use, we're doing for an extension.
Yep.
So it's an extension of the non-conforming use as a. Okay, one extension of the use, correct?
Yep, sorry, so close the hearing for a special permit pursuant to the zoning bylaw section 708.020 to allow a single family use to be extended to create a 2-family use and site plan approval.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So moved by Brad, seconded by Susie, all those in favor? Okay, great, thank you very much. All we've done is just close the public hearing now. Now we will discuss making a decision on the special permit and site plan.
Without us,
You guys can say it,
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's complicated. But. All right.
Middle first.
Yeah.
I think you've heard my opinion, so I'm in favor of that kind of decision versus what we were looking at previously. This is as they said, over 100-year-old structure. The zoning has changed since it was built. Arbitrarily, if the zoning was moved to the other side of the lot, it would be in a different zone. So there's multi-families on either side of it currently. It's not gonna change the use, it's not gonna change, it doesn't derogate the bylaws, and it's not gonna be more detrimental to the area.
I agree with everything you said, and that, it's also improving a lot, it's making a driveway with additional improvements. In terms of lighting and safety, it's taking a building that is in Bob's comments earlier, cut it down to the studs, improving all the utilities and functions, adding additional safety features, updated to 2025 standards. So yeah, no, I think this is definitely an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in harmony with surrounding properties. My biggest concern was the driveway and making sure that part of the parks on East Main Street on the side of the property, and the applicant addressed that, so. In favor of this project.
So if you even look at the history of the building, it went from like duplex in the 90s to single family home, and then it was gonna go back to the duplex and then sat empty, so I think going back to the duplex would be great for the neighborhood, especially if we had a neighbor here who's in a duplex wanting it to be filled again, so I'm in favor of it as well.
I'm in favor of it, and I have no other reason except to support every other reason of the other board.
Same, I'm in favor, I'm not mad.
So I think the motion is essentially to can I make a motion? Is that-
You are going to pass.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you can state that it is, and then somebody can say so.
All right.
What's all, yeah, basically it's special permit and site plan.
It's a special permit for an extension of use.
Yeah.
From a pre-existing conforming single family to a two-family. That's it.
And then you just wanna mention findings of fact 1 through 19, so we're combining and deleting some findings of fact. And then conditions 1 through 3.
Just a second.
So I guess I'll be looking for a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah. You say it loud next time.
So I will give it a shot. Here we go. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to grant a special permit for the extension of use from a single family to a multi-family home in the groundwater protection overlay district area 3, and a site plan approval for section 7-03-050.
If we can get rid of the groundwater protection overlay, because it's a special permit per section 7-
08 special 20.
Yeah. For a non-conforming, to convert a non-conforming single family use to a two-family use.
She says.
Okay.
With also the included findings of fact and 1 through 19, as well as the conditions set forth 1 through 3.
Is there a second?
I second.
So in this, Brad made a motion, seconded by Susie. For this vote, Jack will be the alternate voting member. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, thanks. Thank you guys for coming, appreciate it.
So the next step is, I have to modify the decision based on what happened tonight. Then Paul typically comes in on Fridays to sign the decision. Okay, Monday. So then it's gonna go up to the town clerk's office and that starts the 20-day appeal period. So you can apply for a building permit at that time, but you can't get your building permit until the appeal period. So I will notify you. Then you have to record the original decision at the registry of deeds, West Registry, and then you're official. Okay.
Do we need to reapply, Bob, or is our existing application, we kind of did it backwards? We went for the permit first and then found out we needed a special permit.
That's fine. I will look at the current map and the records. If there's anything that we need to do, I'll let you know through the system. I am gonna need a copy of the decision, the approved plans, the 20-day appeal notice. So I can, while all that's happening, I can go through and do the FDA plan review. I just can't issue a permit until all that stuff, timing of that. Okay, so we can work on that at the other meetings. All right. Thank you. Well, that's- So next up on the agenda is reorganization. So I emailed you on vacation, the select board chair and the town administrator asked for an update on whether they had gotten interviews and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I can update you as of today.
perfect.
So what I found out is that there are 2 applicants. It's my understanding that they're going to try and do interviews early next week. With the intention of appointing somebody at the August 4th select board meeting.
August 4th.
Yep,
Okay,
so hopefully we'll have that full number as of our next meeting.
perfect. Yep, yeah, so I kind of in my email said I would like by the August meeting to have like a full board there. All right. So reorganization, typically around this time. We will nominate chair, vice chair. Go through the shuffling of the deck sort of thing. I don't. If someone else wants to be the chair, I am totally fine with not being the chair. So be the chair, that's fine with me. If they don't, I'm happy to throw my name back at that. So I don't want to be perceived as someone that wants to take the gavel and run away. I'd much rather throw my tomatoes from the back of the bench. But yeah, I don't. This doesn't need to be a long debate or discussion. It's anything different.
No.
Okay.
I already chair a committee in town, so I don't wanna chair multiple.
No, thank you. Right, no, good.
It's a process of elimination.
So then I guess just for the sake of reorganization for the next year.
I nominate Paul.
As chair, second.
All right, all those in favor? Thank you. I will nominate Brad as vice chair. That's okay?
I second.
All right, all those in favor? All right, cool. This is my last year. Do this anymore. All right, so consideration of ZBA minutes from the June 24th meeting last month. I think you guys were here. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Are there any comments or questions with regards to this? I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the June 24th, 2025 meeting.
So moved, yeah, Mr. Chair, I'd like to accept the ZBA minutes from June 24th, 2025 as submitted.
I'll second.
All right, submitted motion by Brad to approve the minutes, seconded by Susie. All those in favor?
Thank you.
All right, so our next meeting is August 26th. We have one case on the agenda. Okay,
We have 129 Maple Street.
okay,
So in your packets here, they provided all different size plans, so they're the same plans. So I gave you the packet with the 11x17s, and then I also, we also put larger versions for those who want larger versions. So I just had Abby make 4 sets, because you know somebody would prefer the 11x17s. If you all want big sets, I can give you all big sets. So if you don't want them, they'll be going into the recycling bin.
There's more than this?
Yeah, so those are, so in your packets here, you have 11x17 versions. But if you're like me and you need reading glasses, you like the big versions, so you have the option of taking the big versions as well. So you can have them twice, 11x17 and big.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right there.
Thinks it's one, right?
All right,
He doesn't go. You get that, he doesn't go. That was funny, you lost Ozzy Osbourne today, you hear that?
5 years, yeah.
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 You made the
Yeah.
It's all right. It's hard.
Yeah. It's got a lot of mileage. Yeah. So it was perfect.
All right, now I don't have anything else. So, Susie, yes.
We have a concert this Sunday at Ellsworth Park. Houston.
Houston.
Houston Bernard.
Yeah.
Houston Bernard, country singer. Our concerts have been very well attended this year, so thank you everyone for coming. And I noticed that we have Northborough Revolution 250 has a beautiful display out in the hallway of the Witness House. So if you stop in town hall, please see that. Come on in, too. That's why I'm not chair. We're right there. Thank you. What was that?
Are there any other comments? Questions? Anything else?
Nothing.
I'll make
I
a
will-
motion to so I do that.
Sure thing.
All right, I made a motion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Lori.
Yes.
That's. That was also like.
So Laura, these are the same as what we have here.
I think it was something.
You've seen it, Dan?
He sounds like